I'm Tommy Birch with the Des Moines Register. I'm here with wrestling reporter Andy Hamilton, and we're going to preview all the college wrestling action that's ahead this weekend. And Andy, it's tournament time right now. We've got the Big Ten, Big 12, and MAC championships set to come. Let's go through each of them. Let's start with the Big Ten. What's on tap this weekend?
Well, you got 74 automatic qualifying spots at stake, 74 of the 330 for the NCAA championships later this month down the street at Wells Fargo Arena. There's going to be 5 of the top 8 teams in the country, 6 former NCAA champs, 20 wrestlers I think I counted up that are ranked in the top 5 nationally. Should be a phenomenal conference tournament over in Champaign. Penn State, Minnesota, Iowa, 3 teams that ought to be probably duking it out for the title, but a lot of individual battles within that tournament. Specifically, I think I counted up 8 of the top 11 guys in the national rankings at 174 pounds. So basically everything from the quarterfinals on is going to face somebody in the top 11, almost like an NCAA tournament type of bracket right there in Champaign. And then 133 ought to be a blast too, with 4 of the top 5 guys in the national rankings. Defending NCAA champ Logan Stieber of Ohio State, he's undefeated. He's on top of the NCAA dominance statistics right now. Iowa's Tony Ramos is undefeated as well. He's been on a serious tear here the last 3 weeks of the season. And then Tyler Graff of Wisconsin's a highly credentialed guy as well. So those weights in particular are going to be really fun to watch, along with 125, where Iowa's Matt McDonough, 3-time Big Ten finalist, 2-time champ. Coming off a loss, he's lost twice this year. Came into his senior season with just 4 career losses. He's lost twice this year. Trying to regain a little bit of his swagger, I guess. His invincibility at 125 pounds is going to run into potentially Nico Megaludis of Penn State or Jesse Delgado of Illinois, one of the guys that's beaten him this season. Those 2 guys are the 2 and 3 seeds. McDonough's the number 1 pre-seed, and he's one of 2 number 1 pre-seeds for the Hawkeyes. Derek St. John at 157 is the other.
Sure. Okay, moving on to the Big 12 championships. They've got 19 automatic qualifiers. What are some of the things you're going to be watching there?
Well, I think the thing that's going to be really compelling is how everything shakes out on Friday with the Big 12's new format, wrestling the Big 12 duels on Friday.
And that's drawn a lot of, I guess, tension, right?
Mixed reviews so far. There's some people that are really in favor of it. John Smith told me, a month ago that he'd been trying to push for this for a long time. He felt like the Big 12 really needed it, a 2-day conference tournament, to get back to more of that NCAA simulation that other conferences like the Big Ten have, where the Big Ten's got a 2-day tournament, back-to-back weigh-ins, 5, up to 5. Tough matches for some guys in that tournament. The Big 12's trying to replicate that a little bit by wrestling round-robin duels on Friday, turning it around and wrestling the individual tournament on Saturday. It's probably the only way that you can make that a 2-day tournament with just 4 schools. But I'm really intrigued to see how that shakes out with strategy in the duels. Do coaches sit some of their best guys? Are coaches apt to protect seeds? I think it's going to be really fascinating to see the strategy that coaches employ for that.
Oh, Iowa State's got a big day. I know they aren't really favored to win a lot of matches, though, are they?
Well, they're they're probably going to have number 1 seeds at 184 with Boaz Beard and Kyvan Gadsden at 197. If things play out the way they have to this point, those guys will be number 1 seeds. They're also going to be, Michael Marino at 165, Tanner Weatherman at 174 are going to be guys that are on paper favored to get automatic qualifying spots. But the Cyclones have work to do with those other 6 weights. They're going to have to knock off some people they're not favored to knock off. Matt Gibson at heavyweight, if he's going to earn that automatic qualifying bid, he's going to have to knock off second-ranked Alan Galagaya from Oklahoma State. So the Cyclones are going to have to jump up and win some matches that they did not win earlier in the season, head-to-head matches they didn't win earlier in the season. But they are competing better. We've said it time and again throughout the second half of the season. It seems like Iowa State has gotten better and better almost every time out. So this is going to be a good barometer for where the Cyclones stack up.
Moving on to the MAC championships, which are going to be in Buffalo. UNI, I think, has 4 guys that are looking to to possibly qualify. What do you see out of that?
Well, they got a lot more than 4 that are looking to qualify. They got 4 that on paper
Sure.
are, right now, if the tournament plays out the way it's preceded, that they'll have 4 guys that get through. And Doug Schwab, and talking to him a couple nights ago, was going on about how that's not what it's about for their program. They're not trying to just get guys to the tournament. They've gotten, I think they had 5 at the tournament a year ago, but the Panthers came up short and didn't have any All-Americans, and that's kind of what they're shooting for at this point. It's what they talked to, what Schwab talked about the preseason and media day, is making that breakthrough and having some guys on the stand and wrestling, to the last day of the NCAA championships. He wants to have somebody wrestling on Saturday here in Des Moines, and instead of watching it like they've had to do the last couple years. But the Panthers are going to have, like we said, we mentioned 4 guys that are preceded to make the tournament based on the automatic qualifying numbers. Levi Wolfensberger at 133. Joey Laser's the number 1 seed at 141. He's had a heck of a season. Been on a really good roll since Midlands. David Bonet at 157, and then Ryan Loader at 184. Bonet and Loader have kind of been the guys that are the old dependables that have been strong performers for Schwab since he's been there, since he took over the job 3 years ago. But that'll be interesting to see if the Panthers can jump up and snag a few more of those qualifying spots. It seemed like the MAC would get more than 30 automatic qualifying bids. There were a lot of guys that were just on the fringe that didn't quite make the cut, and so they're sitting at 30 qualifiers, and then we'll see how those last 40 or so wild cards, how they stack up if the MAC can earn a few more. I would venture to guess that the MAC will be in line to push that number up a little bit higher.
Well, we don't know who's going to be at Wells Fargo Arena yet for the NCAA championships, but you and I know we'll be there, so you can get ready for all that. Andy will have a video kind of recapping all the weekend's action later next week. You can check back for stories and everything else at DesMoinesRegister.com, and thanks for watching.